Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to be talking about simplifying expressions using the order of operations. So this expression that I wrote below, that's what we're going to be doing at the end of today's video, is we're going to be simplifying that together. So let's start off just by talking about what exactly is an expression and what does it mean to simplify an expression. So I'm going to start and just write an example of an expression, this 6 times 7. This is a numerical expression. It's just some number that we have. And here we have it represented as one number times another number. So in order to simplify it, well, here we have two different numbers with an operation between them. To simplify it, we want to just be able to write it as just one number. We're just going to write it as one number. So we do, well, 6 times 7, I know that that's 42. So 6 times 7, simplifying it, we get 42. One important thing that we're going to notice as we simplify expressions, especially longer expressions, is we need to connect our work. So we put an equal sign in there to show 6 times 7, well, we have simplified that and said that is equal to 42. Okay, so make sure that we are using equal signs to show exactly what we're doing, because again, we will have some longer expressions similar to the one below where using equal sign is going to be really helpful so that we're not just writing random numbers all over the place. So again, sometimes we will see some longer expressions, and when we get those, we need to know, well, what's the order? Like, when am I supposed to add? When am I supposed to multiply? What am I doing when? So this is when we use the order of operations. And the order of operations is really easy to remember if you can remember the acronym PEMDAS. So that's PEMDAS. And each of those letters is going to stand for a different operation. So this first one, this P stands for parentheses. Okay, and when we talk about parentheses, these are when we're grouping certain sets of numbers together. So we can also think of parentheses as just groupings. Sometimes it's brackets. Sometimes it's with a fraction bar. So for example, these different groupings could be parentheses. They could be brackets. Okay, and they could be fraction bars. So 4 plus 2 over 5 minus 1. Well, this tells us the numerator is grouped together and the denominator is grouped together. So we can even write parentheses around the whole numerator and parentheses around the whole denominator if that helps you within the order of operations. Okay, moving on to the E. So the E, you may or may not have heard of exponents before. If not, don't worry, we will touch on them later in the course. Okay, exponents right here, this 2 is an exponent. We read that as 3 squared, but again, we will get to that later on in this course. The M and the D now actually are paired together. That's multiplication and division. Multiplication and division. So these two are paired together. You don't always do multiplication before you do division. Okay, so paired together. You do M and D at the same time. You read it left to right. So this should be read left to right. If you had something like, let's say, 8 divided by 2 times 2, you don't do the multiplication before you do the division. We're just going to read this left to right, the same way that you read a book. So 8 divided by 2, that's equal to 4, and then we have times 2, and then we'll do the multiplication after. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. Okay, so we're going to read those left to right. And also, when we have addition and subtraction, these are also paired together. So the A is addition, and the S is subtraction. These are also paired together. Okay, so let's show an example with this as well. So these two also paired together. Okay, so if I had, let's do 8 minus 2 plus 4. You don't do the addition first. We're going to read it left to right. So we do 8 minus 2 to get 6. And then we'll add the 4 after to get 10. All right, so you don't do 2 plus 4 equals 6. Oh, 8 minus 6 equals 2. Nope, we should be getting 10 with this. So we'll go parentheses, then exponents, then multiplication slash division paired together, then addition slash subtraction paired together. So let's check out an example here. Let's do that same one that we saw on that first slide and simplify this expression here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just rewrite this over here so I have some room to work with. 3 times the quantity, 2 minus 4, plus 8. And that is all divided by 4 minus the quantity of 2 plus 1. All right, next, the first thing that I want to do here is remember that when I have a fraction bar, that indicates grouping. So I need to do the whole numerator first and the whole denominator first. So draw parentheses, or you could make it brackets if you'd like, because there already is parentheses, around the whole numerator and around the whole denominator. Okay, and now let's just go through. So if I'm trying to do the whole numerator, well, I need to just look at the numerator and follow the order of operations within the numerator. So 2 minus 4 is the first thing I'm going to be doing. Well, 2 minus 4, that is a negative 2. So now I have 3 times a negative 2. And I didn't touch on this, but whenever we have a number written next to parentheses, just like this, that indicates multiplication. Okay, that is always going to represent multiplication when we have a number written next to parentheses. So that is multiplication right there. That's 3 times negative 2. Okay, then we continue on. We have plus 8, and I'll put the brackets. And then we have 4 minus, well, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, now your question might be, why did I write the negative 2 in parentheses? I wrote it in parentheses just to keep that multiplication, to remember that that was multiplication there. If instead I just wrote 3 negative 2, well, now it looks like 3 minus 2. Okay, so I kept it in parentheses because it was a negative number, and a lot of times when you want to write a negative number, we just put that negative in parentheses so we don't get it confused with a subtraction sign. Okay, we want to remember that's multiplication there. Okay, that's multiplication, it's not subtraction. All right, so now in the numerator, we need to do 3 times the negative 2. So 3 times the negative 2, and again, I'm going to connect this with an equal sign, is negative 6 plus 8 all over 4 minus 3. Well, that is 1. Okay, and now I can clear those parentheses because 1 was the only thing left. And negative 6 plus 8 in the numerator gives me 2 in the numerator divided by 1. Well, 2 divided by 1 is just 2. Okay, so I took this big, large expression in the green and I simplified it all the way down to just 2. And that's what we're going to be working with to start today.